But speaking of struggling players in the playoffs, Michael Porter Jr. might be becoming available from the Denver Nuggets. He had a bad final game to end the season for the Denver Nuggets. I think he went what 1 for 7 in that game. We were talking about it, and I thought he was cooking. And you said I only watched 1 3, and that was it. And it was Michael Porter Jr.'s. So
Yeah.
if he does become available, would you want the Pistons to explore a trade for Michael Porter Jr.?
I don't know why this one bad series is going to make him not stay in Denver. Michael Porter Jr. is a very big key to that team's success. I wouldn't mind him coming to Detroit. If I had to choose maybe a Brandon Ingram or a Michael Porter Jr., I'm gonna go to Brandon Ingram over it. Now, if you can somehow snag Michael Porter and maybe break up your core four to bring this guy in, I think he's a good veteran. I think he's a great shooter. Like you're not always gonna have the best series, man. Like it happens. Like even the best fall down sometimes. Like it's a banger of a song, and that has good meaning behind it. Like Michael Porter Jr. I don't think he'd be a good fit with the Pistons. I don't think he leaves Denver. I don't think you can let him go.
I love his fit for the Detroit Pistons. Running the
I
wings with Cade Cunningham as the point guard, he might be the only wing that I would take over Brandon Ingram that I think could potentially be available. Just because of I think there's more to his game than what he's get to show in Denver. Like he's what the third option at best in Denver behind Jokic and Jamal Murray, and even then, Aaron Gordon probably takes precedent over him in the pecking order because he does so many other things. You got to feed that guy.
you're not going to get this guy for cheap.
No, I know you're not.
If we're going fit, I think he fits better in Orlando than he would do in Detroit.
That's also a good fit for
I
him.
think Orlando would be great with Paolo, Franz Wagner, Markel Fultz, Michael Porter Jr., and Wendell Carter. I think that team would be very good, actually. But it's a bang for your buck, man. Like you're gonna have to spend the money on this guy, and I think, and if you let him take 6'7" threes at like 6'8" with like jumps like 20 inches off the ground, he has almost an unguardable jump shot. So if they, like I said, and I always keep saying it, is if we have the opportunity to make a splash, we have an opportunity to bring a new face in to maybe make some changes, get rid of the guys that we have that were on this horrible team of 14 wins. I say you go ahead and you can attempt it, but I just think he's gonna be very costly, and if we can't get him for a cheaper price, he's gonna go where the money is. Like I think there's talks of him going to Orlando, going to the Lakers, like, but the Lakers are going for everyone apparently. Like all the players in the NBA are now going to be LA Lakers, and it's just going to be the Lakers, so they can only win the championship because they're the only team that exists. Like, I I don't know how I feel about him going to Detroit. I don't think it's the number one fit, but I wouldn't be mad if they went and made the splash like this.
So he is under contract right now, and is so for 2024-25 he's making 35 million. 25-26 he's making 38 million,
Man,
and then 26-27 he's making 40 million.
it's a lot
But
to take on.
the crazy thing is his cap percentage of how much that money takes up the cap. It goes from 25 to 24 to 23% in the final year, even though he's making more money. So yeah, I mean, it is a steep cost. You're giving up quite a bit to bring him, but Denver might do it because they might have to trade him to in order to keep the other pieces. Like I said, I mean, he might be the third option offensively, like ideally, but everything else he brings to the floor, there are other players that you have to pay that bring more that like you can find a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not to quite the level of Michael Porter Jr., but you can find shooters for cheap in the NBA compared to what Michael Porter is making. But in order to keep Jokic and Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, the bulk of that team together, you might just have to offload him. And the Pistons, they have the cap room to play with to bring in a guy like Michael Porter Jr. And I absolutely love his fit for the Detroit Pistons. And you're probably looking at a guy that's a 22 or more a game scorer on a bad team like Detroit. It'd just be a lot of fun. He's probably taking like 10 3-pointers a game too
Yeah.
in Detroit. He's just letting it go whenever he can.
I mean, he's got to definitely find a place that's going to pay him so his brother can keep sports gambling now that he's out of the NBA. So they gotta come up with something for him to pay off those FanDuel debts, but because obviously it wasn't hitting very good. But I don't know. Like we talk about Denver and their lineup. I think that if they're gonna move a piece, it's gonna be Michael Porter Jr. because I don't think you break up the chemistry of Jokic and Aaron Gordon. I think they have a really good thing going as the 5 and 4 there. So I think if you are gonna move a piece to create space for Cap, I think the best one is to move Michael Porter Jr. because he's the biggest one for money. Like Contavious Caldwell Pope isn't gonna really give you a whole lot of breathing room like Porter would.
I mean, you might like get him for like Evan Fournier or something, where Denver's like, this
I
guy
would, I,
sucks. Like,
I would give up Fontecchio. Like I would do a 3-for-3 swap. Like that'd be okay with me. Like if you could somehow manage that, I wouldn't have a problem. Because if they're gonna trade away Michael Porter, they need to get another scorer, and
this is true.
it's possible for them to grab like a Fontecchio type player to come in. Like whoever ends up coming to Detroit, whether it's Michael Porter Jr., LeBron James, it doesn't matter who, Brandon Ingram, like whoever it is, we need someone to put up points. That's what we're looking for. And Michael Porter Jr. has no fear with just letting that thing rip.